session. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and today I'm going to make a really fun card. It's actually going to be a fun fold, and I don't have the card to show you like in my hands, but I will put a picture of a card that I made for my son-in-law that I will be making something very similar to that, but different today. I am using He's the Man Designer Series paper. I do not have the stamp set. When I purchase a stamp set, I think about how many times I would use it, if I would use it in my classes, when I could use it in my classes, that sort of thing. And I just didn't think I would use it that often, but I knew that I liked the paper and I would be able to use it. So I'm going to show you how you can make a great card, even if you don't have the stamp set. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. I've done zero prep, so I'm going to do all of it right here on the video with you. So I have a piece of early espresso. It is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to score it at 5.5. Now normally when I'm making a card, I would turn it and score it at 4.25, because when you cut it, then you have two cards rather than one, and they're both already scored, and it would be a card that you would open up like this rather than, you know, like that, if that makes sense. You'll know what I'm talking about once I actually do it. Okay, so I'm going to cut it at 4.25. This is what I'm talking about, like this, not like that. Oh, silly, silly me. All right, so then I'm going to take this. This is now 4.25 by 11, so I'm going to take this. I want it to be an easel card, and since this is 5.5 inches right here, I'm going to put this at 2.75 inches, which is half of 5.5, and I'm going to score it like that. Okay. Now, each one of these sections here is 4.25 by 2.75. So I want a piece of Sahara sand that will fit here on top and it have the right proportions. So I'm going to cut two pieces that are 2.5 by 4. Okay, so let's do that really quickly. I'm going to go ahead and say I'll cut it like from here. I'll cut 2.5 pieces. I'm also going to cut one to go on the inside, I think. Do I want to do that? No, I'm going to cut something different to go on the inside. All right. Okay, and then I'm going to get my designer series paper. This designer series paper is really fun, and since I have my pieces cut at 2.5 by 4, I want them to be the right proportions to fit on top of here. So I'm going to cut these to be 3.75, which is already cut that way, and then cut these at 2.5. So I'm going to cut one piece of this at 2.5, and then I will cut a piece of this at 2.5. Okay. And since we're already cutting, I am going to cut a piece that is 4 inches wide by 5.25, and this is going to go on the inside of my card. I'm going to use Very Vanilla to go on the inside, and I'm going to cut it at 3.5 by 4.75 for the inside. And then I have one that's 4 by 5.25 that I will put on the back side. I have my bone folder, and I'm going to go ahead and fold it and burnish it. So then this one is going to go on the inside. It's going to fold in like that. You're going to burnish that, okay? So now let's go ahead and start putting the pieces together. I'm going to use my Tombow glue. There's a lot of grace with that. You can move it around if you don't get it just perfectly. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put this on top. You ever have a Murphy day? Yeah, sometimes I have those. I filmed myself making a video of this card, and for whatever reason, it didn't work. So I'm doing it again. I did it with white, and I actually didn't like the white as much, so there is that. Okay, so now what you're going to do, I've already folded and burnished my card, folded it here, and then folded it inward and burnished that. Okay, so you decide which direction you want your paper to be. It will fold like this, and you'll have your label right here. So I want the cards to be on the bottom because that will be seen the most whenever it's folded like an easel. So I'm going to put this right here. And make sure that your opposing corners have the same amount of space, and then you'll be even all the way around. And then we'll put this on that top flap. And I don't know if you can hear it or not, but my security system is saying garage door. If you hear that, that's because my husband is home and he is doing some work and he's going in and out of the garage. So here's a piece of the designer series paper. It's 4 1/4 by 5. No, it's 4 by 5 1/4. And here is a piece of the Very Vanilla. And so I'm going to glue this Very Vanilla. It is actually 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. I think I said that whenever I was cutting it. But the reason I made it smaller than normal, normally it would be 4 by, normally it would be 3 3/4 by 5. The reason I made it smaller is because this is designer series paper that I'm putting it on, and I want you to be able to see the pattern of the designer series paper behind that, and it still gives you enough space on there. Okay, I'm going to show you something too. I don't know if you can see it, but there's like little fuzzies. I need to change the blade on my trimmer, and I'm going to just show you this trick. I take an old fingernail file or emery board, and if you just do like that, it will get those little fuzzies right off, and it won't show whenever you put it on. As a part of the designer series paper, it comes with lots of different, 2 sheets actually, of different images, and it actually has like a mountain range, and I've already used both of those mountain ranges. So I'm going to take this piece right here. It is like a piece that's been torn out, and it has the rough edges like it would be a mountain range. And I may be wrong, that may not even be what this is, but that's what I'm going to use it for. And I am going to use this car right here to go on the front, as well as You're a Classic. And I'm going to use these for my cards, for my card, okay? So what I'll do is I am going to put this, this is 1 1/2. I am going to cut off, I think maybe 3/4 of it. So let's see how I can do this. I think I'll put it at 3/4. Maybe 1. Let's try it at 1. And if it's not enough, then we'll do more. I think it's going to be enough though. And we're going to glue it onto here. Okay? Now what I'm going to do though is I'm going to actually put the glue on the front of my designer series paper, and then I will glue it on like this. And then I'll take my scissors. Now the beauty of Tombow, you can see how I just moved that accidentally. The beauty of Tombow is that it will just go right back into place. And if for some reason if you see that it's overlapping or anything like that, then you can fix it. You can cut it off, or you can scooch it back over. Now I need it to go further. Okay, so it's just one small little piece I need to cut off. And I'm going to pop this up using dimensionals. Okay, so you may be wondering, why in the world is she putting dimensionals on the inside of her card? Well, here's the reason. It is going to be what stops it. Stops my card from going anywhere. It won't slide down then. It has just enough of a raise in the I don't know what I'm trying to say. What is the word? It's enough lifted. Okay, it's lifted enough that it won't just slide down whenever you prop it up. Okay, it's like a little doorstop. The next thing I'm going to do is to cut out a couple of labels. I am using the painted labels dies, and I'm going to use the larger rectangle and then the smaller rectangle. So we'll flip those over. And there you go. Okay, I told you that I did not purchase the stamp set that went with this paper, but I do have a Grand Kid, and I am going to use the Happy Birthday stamp with Early Espresso ink, and I'm just going to stamp Happy Birthday on it right about here. Let's hope it's even, not crooked. It's a little crooked, but it's okay. And then I'm going to take this larger one and I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of the car, the punch-out car. I love that they did this with the DSP, a designer series paper, because it makes it really nice when you don't want to buy the stamp set to be able to do stuff like this. They did that with, I think it's Hues of Happiness, that they have flowers that you can actually cut. You can die cut, or you can hand cut them, fussy cut them. All right, so what I'm going to do now, you have to be very mindful for this next part. I actually did a whole video of in an easel card one time that on the video, I glued it here. So whenever you opened it, it was like this, and you couldn't see the label. So what you have to do is make sure that you're putting glue on the right area. You want it to be on this bottom part. So you'll flip it around and put glue on the bottom here. And the other thing you need to be mindful of when you do this is that you have enough space for both of them. Okay? So, and you do want it in the middle. So that's another reason to use Tombow. Okay? Then we're going to put dimensionals on the back of our smaller one. Now we're going to make a knot. This is faux suede trim in Early Espresso. And I'm just going to make a knot. I don't want a big bow or anything like that, just a small knot. And I will use my glue dot, my mini glue dot. And we will just put it right here like that. Okay, then you'll just trim it. And tighten it up a little bit. Okay, then I'm also going to use the Rustic Metallic Adhesive Back Dots. And I'm going to put a couple, I'm actually going to put them on the rims of the tires. I think that looks kind of cute. I got to run away. There we go. Then I'm going to use a bigger one. I'm going to put down here. And I think I'll do a smaller one right here. And one last one right up here in one of those dots. Okay, now for the inside, we're going to use the punch out You're a Classic. Maybe I should have used white paper on this, I don't know, but it's okay. And since there's not a whole lot of space to write here, we're just going to put a piece of the Very Vanilla on the back. Then you have plenty of space to write. If you didn't want to, if you're not, my husband and I, we write a lot on cards whenever we're giving them. So we like to have lots of space to be able to write. If all you're wanting to do is write your name, there's plenty of room in here to just write your name. And you wouldn't even have to put anything on the back. I will show there, you know the little photo corners? I've already used them, but this packet even comes with the little photo corners that you can put on, like you used to have with scrapbooking years ago. But this is my card and I love it. I think it turned out so good. My son-in-law really, really liked his card. And I will show a picture of the card on the video so you can see. But I'm really happy with the way they turned out. Let me know what you think. If you've not already subscribed to my channel, please do so. And if you hit if you ring the bell, then you'll get notice when I have future videos come out. And if you don't already have the new mini catalog that's good from July to December of 2022, please let me know. I would love to get one out to you, and I'll also send you one of the annual catalogs if you would like one of those. All of the supplies, the measurements and everything for my card will be listed on my website, which will be in the comments or in the description on my YouTube channel. And you can actually purchase the supplies through my webpage. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great day. Bye.